Energy drinks seem to be everywhere these days. It's the fastest growing segment of the beverage industry and hugely popular with teens. But now one family is sounding the alarm, saying they could be deadly. Alani Nu energy drinks have swept social media. But a new lawsuit targeting the distributor, Glazer's Beer and Beverage, alleges that its high amount of caffeine played a role in a 17-year-old's fatal cardiac incident.
Only caffeine was found in her system.
Attorney Benny Augusto says Larissa Rodriguez, an active cheerleader and honor student with no pre-existing heart problems, drank it often, so much that it was even incorporated into her invitation to homecoming. But the lawsuit alleges the only cautionary language on the can is printed in small, inconspicuous text that's easily overlooked.
We are specifically going after them for failing to warn and failing to prevent innocent people from taking this drink, not knowing the risks.
The defendant, Glazer's Beer and Beverage, didn't comment, while Alani Nu's owner, Celsius, which is not a defendant, says it believes consumers should have clear information about what they're drinking.
About to be so charged up.
In 2024, Panera nixed its highly caffeinated charged lemonade and settled numerous lawsuits that blamed the drink for several deaths and injuries, but denied any wrongdoing in court. Some expert groups say teens should not consume more than 100 milligrams of caffeine a day. Alani Nu contains 200.
Even small amounts of caffeine can have over-exaggerated effects in younger people.
As this 17-year-old's tragic death is raising new questions about popular drinks.
All right, so Josh Colesrud joins me once again. So the family's attorney, he is arguing that, there wasn't enough warnings, inadequate warnings. However, is the warning from them not recommended for children? Isn't that enough of a warning?
Absolutely not. I mean, what does that mean? The word children, does that mean juvenile? Does it mean infant? Does it mean teenager?
To be more specific.
Not only does it
age.
Yeah, not only does it have to be specific, but remember what the tobacco companies had to do. They actually had to identify what the danger was. So not only did they have to say this is a danger to your health, but they literally had to say that this can and does lead to cancer. Now, if you Google caffeine and myocarditis, the disease that the coroner was able to find in that case, there are tons of other lawsuits involving Red Bull, Panera Breads, and other popular brands that deal with this exact same issue. Now, in Texas, you don't have to necessarily prove that this was the only cause of the person's death, but only that it was a contributing factor in that case. And $1 million settlement, which is what they're asking for, is not very much because she was 17. They have to account for her life earnings. Right. And I've seen verdicts up to, in class action lawsuits, up to $114 million.
Wow.
So, this is just the beginning.
So why do you think it's so low then at $1 million?
I think that they certainly can amend that. They have to survive what's called summary judgment. So the plaintiffs will file a complaint, a lawsuit, and then a judge will have to determine whether there's any merit to the claims. And then once that happens, then there's going to be some really hardcore settlement negotiations, which, again, this will likely settle before going to a jury, ultimately going to a jury.
All right, Josh, great insight on all 4 of our cases today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.